The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. This is Lew Hoff at Bartizan, and we'll be starting the webinar in just a few moments. There's some other people joining, so if you'll bear with me just a minute or two, we will get underway. I don't know what it's like where you are, but here in New York, it's a gray day, and it promises to be a soggy one. I don't care much about the weather until baseball season resumes again. Okay, we're about ready to get started. And today we're going to talk about surviving in this tough economy. I don't know if any of you read an article in last Friday's New York Times. I've got the paper here in front of me. It was in the business section, and it's titled, it's right in the top of the fold, the business section, following Twitter right to its office. And if you read that article, and if your trade show is anything like 795 Folsom Street in San Francisco, there's no need for you to sit in on this webinar. You're doing everything right. Let me tell you a little bit about 795 Folsom. It's a pretty nondescript building. There's no gym, there's no cafeteria, and yet people are clamoring to get in. So what's the big draw about 795 Folsom Street? I'll tell you what it is. It's physical proximity to Twitter. Twitter occupies 2 floors in this building, and that's reason enough, apparently, for a lot of companies to want to set up shop there. One of Twitter's neighbors is quoted as saying, "Even though it's all about tech and the internet, the real magic of Silicon Valley comes from people being in the same space." That's the magic. Okay. That's the magic of trade shows, isn't it? It's about people getting together in the same space and interacting with one another. Last year, we commissioned a focus group to study the trade show industry, in particular, what can be done for exhibitors, and we had participants who were organizers and exhibitors. And we got a lot of interesting information out of that. Times were tough then. Times are still tough. Not quite as tough as last year, but they're still difficult. When times are tough, common sense would dictate that marketing efforts should be redoubled. But a lot of companies react counterintuitively. Companies need to constrain spending. Marketing is an easy target. That's not because it makes sense to reduce marketing efforts. In fact, quite the contrary. Trade shows within the marketing sphere are particularly easy targets for cost cutters. You want to cut your costs, that's if you're a potential exhibitor, that's easy. You don't sign up for a show. Or if you normally send attendees, you reduce the number of attendees, or simply don't send anyone. And by doing that, you have saved thousands, and save should be in quotation marks. You save thousands, tens of thousands of dollars perhaps. And this applies not only to exhibitors, but those who send people to attend trade shows. If you're a trade show organizer, you're at the top of the food chain. All the other stakeholders in the trade show, the vendors who supply all the moving parts that make a show a reality, have to wait with bated breath for the outcome of your efforts. If a show is to be a success, it must have attendees, exhibitors, and sponsors. But the real key is attendees. No attendees, no show. Exhibitors are attracted by attendees, and so your job, just like 795 Folsom Street, is to attract attendees. So the first question to ask yourself is, what's a compelling reason for people to want to attend my show, and why should their employers feel compelled to send them? Well, there's some obvious reasons. As attendees, you want to keep current with trends in your industry. You want to attend seminars that have lots of take-home value. You want to meet prospective suppliers. Some of those suppliers, in fact, can help you cut your costs. Maybe in this economy, not too many people are hiring, and yet scouting for prospective employees at a trade show is an excellent way to hire good people. You can forge relationships with prospective partners, raise the visibility of your organization. And you can do all of these things in a very cost-effective way by going to that one place, your 795 Folsom Street. For exhibitors, all of these points that I just raised also apply, in addition to which there's some other reasons, compelling reasons to be at a trade show, leads in particular. Attendees are prospective customers. A trade show offers exhibitors unparalleled opportunities to meet people they wouldn't otherwise meet. They can meet them on the show floor, at coffee breaks, receptions, seminars, the list goes on. And you can meet them in a cost-effective way. You can also, as an exhibitor, gain a lot in the way of competitive intelligence. Your competitors are likely to be there. You can meet with current customers, or rather than travel all around the country to see your customers, you can meet them at one place. Again, it's very cost-effective. It takes a lot of effort and imagination, but you can become the equivalent of 795 Folsom. And if you can, attendees and exhibitors are going to be plentiful. So how do you get the word out? How do you prime the pump? How do you get those people coming? Particularly the attendees. That's where it all starts. Because if quality attendees come to your event, it's axiomatic that exhibitors will follow. Put yourself in your attendees' shoes. Now, I've been going to trade shows longer than I like to admit, more than 40 years. I'd like to say I started when I was 10. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But here's what I look for in considering going to a trade show. I'm hoping that I'm looking for some assurance that the following will occur: that I'll meet other attendees with whom I can share ideas. Perhaps I'll partner with them, gain access to their networks. I'll meet exhibitors who offer solutions to my needs. One thing I particularly like is finding things, maybe finding solutions for which I didn't know there was a problem. Sometimes just in wandering around a trade show, you'll find something and you weren't looking for it. You never knew you needed it. But when you see it, you know it. You need it. And then there's listening to speakers who inspire and fire your imagination. And I'd like to address this for a minute, because I think good speakers can really create a halo effect around a show and the experience that people will have at a show. I've gone to trade shows, and you probably have too, where a single speaker was so outstanding that you'll remember their presentation long after the trade show was over. And it may be the very reason why you will attend that show again the following year. Well, you probably don't have a budget. Maybe you do. I shouldn't assume that. But if you don't have a budget that allows for you to hire Bill Clinton, there are relative unknowns who can make a powerful impression at a trade show. Let me give you an example. About 3 years ago, I attended a combination trade show and conference. And the first day's luncheon speaker was really the headliner, and that was Arianna Huffington, who gave a presentation at the luncheon. And it was very professional, and it was well received, and I don't remember anything that she said. But the second day, first of all, in the morning, I attended a seminar, and one of the panelists was a young guy by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk. And he was a little bit off the wall, and he happened to mention that he was going to be the luncheon speaker. And frankly, I thought, gee, this is a come down from Arianna Huffington to this guy. But Gary certainly surprised me. He gave a presentation that I remember to this day, and when he was done, people were lining up to shake his hand and to get their photograph with him. I was amazed by it all. Gary Vaynerchuk, it wasn't expensive then. In fact, he probably was very happy to have the exposure. Today, he's probably pretty expensive. And I just 10 seconds worth of background on Gary. He's probably 30, 31, 32, but he started working in his dad's liquor store in New Jersey. I think it was called Discount Liquors, and I remember seeing the ads here in New York. And his family had immigrated from Russia in the 80s. His father took a construction job when he got here. Then he went to work in a liquor store, which he eventually bought. And Gary decided that he could sell wine better than anyone else. And if you check out winelibrary.tv, you will get a taste of what Gary does, and that's no pun intended. But at any rate, there are other Gary Vaynerchuks out there. So find one. It will really make a difference in your event. So how do you get exhibitors to open up their wallets? It's easy not to exhibit at a show. You just don't sign up for it, unless, of course, you make it difficult for them not to attend your show. When a company signs up to exhibit, make its competitors aware that they have. This is going to motivate some of them. If for no other reason, the fact that they have a competitor who's going to be at your show, that'll get other companies to sign up. As attendees sign up, make prospective exhibitors aware of the companies that these folks represent. So again, that's a positive reinforcement. And here's an idea you might try. What if you were to enlist a number of attendees, say 8 or 10 of them, as a panel, and devote an hour, not something where you'd have an audience, but devote an hour in a conference room and give perhaps a dozen of your exhibitors 1 hour, and during which time they'll make each of them would make a 3 or 4 minute presentation. And this is something I think you would charge for. I know that as an exhibitor, if I was told I'm going to have 10 influential prospective customers for you to talk to, and you'll have 3 minutes to give them your pitch, and I'm going to charge you $200 for the privilege, I jump at it. That's an opportunity I think most exhibitors would love. So that's something you might try. Well, we're almost done because I've only got an allotted 10 minutes and I've run over my time already. We've got some more slides that Joanna Stasic, our marketing director, has put together, and these are going to be emailed to you. And I think they've got some very good information. But I just want to leave you with 2 last thoughts. One is, as an organizer, give some consideration to new vendor relationships. Sometimes you just get used to the same old, and you wind up leaving a lot of money on the table. The other one is something that we've come across, and that is that exhibitors resent being denied access to the email addresses of the leads they collect. And there are some organizers that tell us that is their policy. I think it's a bad policy. If you want loyal exhibitors to come back year after year, give them email access. You can always allow your attendees to opt out. Well, I thank you very much for sitting in with us today. If you've got any questions, feel free to give me a call. At the end of the slides here, you'll see my direct line. My email address is Lew, L-E-W, @bartizan.com. Tomorrow we're going to have another 10-minute webinar, this time on iLeads, our lead retrieval system that is, I think, the best lead retrieval system around, including when you compare it to any of the others that we offer. Again, that's supposed to run 10 minutes, and it will probably be like today. It will run over a couple of minutes. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a good day.